It's about time we get into some football, shall we? Football talk is kind of heating up here after the last NFL game of the year last week. We've had a couple of good football topics, and someone who wanted to stoke the fire, if you will, is Josh Pate. You may have heard of him. Late kick, I think is what it's called. Yeah. A guy who's very well respected around the college football world. Well, he might not be that way around the Baylor football world or the Big 12 in general, because he put out on Friday Big 12 program rankings. Okay. Now, I'll admit, and he doesn't explain it in this tweet of what goes into this. I'm not sure. He's using a 3-year blend of the following: on-field production, talent acquisition, which is going to be a key one for one of these teams ahead of Baylor, stability, and resource pool. That's how he does it. And I'm going to go quickly through the rankings here, okay? From 1 to 16, Utah, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, ahead of TCU, Kansas, UCF, Arizona, Iowa State, Colorado, West Virginia, Houston, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, and Cincinnati. So Baylor is ranked 14th out of 16. In the Premier League, that would get you relegated in the bottom 3. But is Baylor actually a bottom 3 football program in this conference? Hell no. No. Are they going through a tough stretch right now? Yes. Yes. Like, no doubt, man. This 3 losing seasons in 4 years, But the one of those that wasn't a losing season the last 4 years was the most successful in program history and would be the most successful in most programs' histories and most Big 12 football programs' histories. That a 12-2 Big 12 championship and Sugar Bowl, that would be the most successful out of 10 of these programs? One that's ranked way higher. Iowa State's never won 10 games. Baylor won 12 and won the conference, something that team hasn't done in 110 years. Some Kansas hasn't done in 60 years. And I get it. That doesn't wash away the other 3 years, but it's something we need to take into account here, okay? Because the ones that really rub me the wrong way, Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona, and West Virginia, all ranked ahead of Baylor. Okay, West Virginia is in a better place than Baylor right now, I think. They had the turnaround Neil Brown season last year where they won 9 games, including barely beating Baylor in the last regular season game. But it was their first 8-win season since 2018. And they've never won the Big 12. West Virginia's a fine football program historically, but I think the Big 12 seems to have been a bridge too far for that football program because they can't really compete in it. They haven't won 10 games. It's just not, it's a little too big for them. The Big East was perfect for them. Okay, so that one, I get it. But realistically, Baylor's overall a better football program. But when you link it to the last 3 years, sure, they've bounced back nicely. Arizona had a great year last year. Okay. They won 10 games, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then their coach left. Okay. So it's been a long time since they won 10 games. I didn't want to go back this far, but it was their first winning season, the first time they made a bowl game since 2017, which is way past Josh Pate's window here. Okay. Way past. And in those other 2 years that he's going by, 10-win season, that's fantastic. Baylor had one of those. In fact, they had 12-win season in 2021. Those other 2 seasons, Arizona was 5-7 and 1-11. So the year that Baylor won the Big 12 and won the Sugar Bowl, the Arizona Wildcats, who are apparently a better football program, were 1-11. And Jed Fish was their savior that got them to 10 wins last year. He's not there. He's at Washington. So where's the stability there? We have not seen that either. Okay? Arizona State is ranked ahead of Baylor for some reason. I mean, Josh Pate is just throwing darts at a map of college football teams. This one perplexes the hell out of me. Okay? Because the last 3 seasons, 3-9, 3-9, 8-5. They have twice as many 3-9 seasons as Baylor does in that span. 8-5 was the best one they've been in the last 3 years, and they are going to hell in a handbasket, man. They stink. We're talking about a program. They had the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and they went 3-9 2 years ago. Oof. Program. Arizona State, better program. They're not a better program in anything than Baylor right now. That is a sad sack athletic department. I'm sorry, man. I know Baylor's coming off 3-9, but give me a break with that. And then, of course, everyone's famous or favorite son in college football these days, the Colorado Buffaloes. Because who could forget that great season they had last year with Coach Prime really putting things in the right direction with a solid 4-8 record, which was one game better than Baylor, sure. And then the other two seasons in Josh Pate's 3-year window, they were 1-11 and then another grand 4-8. Okay. Talent acquisition. Fantastic. They brought in a lot of 4- and 5-star guys. It only got them to 4-8 last year. It only got them to 4-8. So, I mean, great. You can acquire the talent. What do you do with it, Coach Prime? We're still waiting on that. The jury's still out. And looking at some of the other things. Okay. On-field production, bad. 4-8, 1-11, 4-8. That sucks. Okay. That's not on-field production. Resource pool. I'm not sure what that means in this. Like, Colorado is not a huge state school. It's a big state school, sure, but it hasn't worked out for them. And then stability, which, look, they have been stable, okay, because they have had one non-COVID winning season since 2005. In a full schedule for the last 20 years almost, they have had one winning season. Stability, yeah, that's stable, all right. Stably bad. They have not had good stability there in 30 years. What the hell are we doing, man? I get it. You know, he wears the cowboy hat and he's got the gold chains and the sunglasses, and he won't let you call him by his first name because he's that much better than you. But wait for them to actually do something. Wait for them to do something, please. And I know this clip might get replayed because I don't know that Baylor's going to have a very good season this year. But can we cut out with the really short memories? 2 years ago, this team had a top 5 final ranking and won 12 games and won this conference that we're talking about. And you think they're not better than Colorado? 4-8, 1-11, 4-8, one real winning season in 20 years? What are we doing, man? Arizona, before the Jed Fish turnaround, who still is gone, was one of the worst programs in all of Power 5. And right by them was their rivals at Arizona State, man. What are we doing? Baylor's a better football program on definitely in the last 10 years than all of those teams. Every single freaking one of them. Whew. That's bad, man. I know Josh Pate says this because it's not the SEC, so he doesn't watch it. But, man, watch some games, bro. And this won't be bad. This will be a bad look when Baylor goes 4-8 this year. But come on, by this criteria, Baylor's way better than those programs.